When I was a college student, I'd have these late night conversations with my roommates. When we finally turned off our TVs and went to bed, every once in a while we'd have these like heavy, real, beautiful conversations. For some reason, our walls would come down when the lights went off and when the hour was weary. We'd be brave enough to discuss the complicated, painful, whirling experiences of the world with more truth than the daytime typically allows. We weren't trying to save face or act cool like we might in the brighter hours. We were raw and uncertain. We weren't defending our side so that our side would cheer for us. We were drilling down deeply into the ununderstandable ground that adulthood was forcing us to walk upon. What can you only say in the safety of a darkened room? What truths simply can't be fully explored under the glaring bright light of day? We're living in a time of deep fracture. Divisions feel unbridgeable. Every issue, political, theological, cultural, has a side, and we're told we must pick one. Even a hint or a mention of the partial validity of the enemy's perspective is grounds for expulsion from our safe in-group. That is not sustainable. We need dark rooms in which we can whisper hard truths. We need late night conversations to unpack the actualities that shine too harshly for the daylight hours. I was rereading the story in John 3:1 through 21 the other day, and man, this whole section is about the power of late night, complex, highly charged, dangerous conversations that are so very necessary right now. Of course, the most famously overused and now cliche verse of the Bible comes from this section of John's Gospel. I can still picture the guy holding the John 3:16 sign behind the goalposts of an NFL game I watched on TV as a kid. I doubt that guy was trying to make the same point with this sign that I'm trying to make here, though, so allow me to dive in a little more deeply. So, at night, under the cover of darkness and probably trembling a little with fear and concern about the ramifications that might come, the Pharisee named Nicodemus comes to Jesus. Nicodemus, who's a member of the ruling elite, a representative of the hardline conservative power structure, shows up to this radical, edgy fringe leader, Jesus. Nicodemus starts the conversation by openly and vulnerably admitting the complexity and the messiness of the situation. Rabbi, he says, we know that you are a teacher who has come from God, for no one could perform the signs you are doing if God were not with him. Imagine somebody doing this today. Imagine someone conceding a central position of their own camp's talking points as a way to just cut to the chase. That opening volley from Nicodemus is breathtaking. This is an extremely provocative example for us to consider. This is a story of a risky, dangerous, and brave encounter. This is a conversation that could only happen at night. Nicodemus isn't trying to trap Jesus like the Pharisees have in other stories. As this story goes, it becomes clear that Nicodemus is genuinely curious. But the conversation isn't polite. It's raw. It's harsh in moments. Nicodemus surrenders a major point. Jesus is, a powerful teacher sent from God, but he doesn't just bow down. He wants to drill into what Jesus is teaching. He engages fully and earnestly. He keeps asking questions because he can't quite reconcile the information from his social bubble with the light that seems to be shining from Jesus. It's not an argument. It's not a love song either. It's a sacred conversation. It's full of authentic human emotional wrestling. This, for me, is a beautiful example of what an actual, productive, sacred conversation looks like. Through hard conversations like these, we can understand the world more fully beyond our limited personal perspectives. We can engage with the spirit that dwells between us and that reveals a truth that our own senses can't access on their own. Another reason I love this story, there's no miracle, there's no magic, there's no water into wine or a blind man sees. There is just truth revealed under the safety of a nighttime conversation between two vulnerable people. We need dark rooms in which we can whisper hard truths right now. Shouting loudly through the bright screens of our social media accounts isn't cutting it. Even marching bravely during midday rallies will only get us so far. We need dark rooms in which we can whisper hard truths. Here's a short blessing. Loving God who is with us under the cover of night, bring us closer to each other. Give us the courage and the patience to fully engage with each other about the big, difficult questions of life. Amen. Hey, Between is about you. Take this message into your life this week and fill the space between you and every person you encounter with your sacred light. My favorite church is the space between people. Now go with God's love and create the church between.